I've heard previously that in IB it was a lot more exam-based assessment-wise, and in SAGE had a lot of assignment tasks throughout the course, and I felt I performed a lot better in exam-type situations than trying to use my time well and get my assignments in on time and do those well.
I didn't really know what I wanted to be or what road I wanted to, what path I wanted to take in the future, so that's why I chose IB. I feel like the SAGE subjects, they're more varied, but they kind of lead you to a professional path. So, yeah.
I chose UIB because I prefer sort of the exams over continuous assignments, and I also like the way that IB structured the subjects that you had to choose. So I think 6 different sections you had to choose from, which gave me more of a defined type of subject or defined number of subjects and what I should do, rather than having a wide variety, which would be hard to choose from for me.
High-level chemistry, high-level physics, standard level, high-level economics, standard level English, and standard level Chinese.
I am doing economics, English literature. I did maths in year 11, I didn't anticipate maths. I'm doing physics, chemistry, and Japanese.
I chose to do high-level maths, high-level chemistry and economics, and then standard level physics, French and English.
High level is basically you spend 20 hours more on the subject.
In IB, when you pick your subject, you also have to pick whether you want to do your subject standard level or high level. And out of your 6 subjects, at least 3 of them have to be at a high level. So it varies between different subjects, but the main difference is that in high level there's a bit more coursework, it's extended a little bit more. So for high level sciences, there will be maybe an extra chapter in each topic that you'll have to work on. You'll also usually have one extra exam and an extended exam time.
I think with high level subjects you actually have to put in a lot of time and effort in it, so you have to be more motivated towards that subject, and yeah.
We'll choose the subject you're willing to focus on a great deal, because there's a large difference between SO and HO, especially with maths and with physics, which I started off doing.
I think it's good to choose what subject is your strength and a subject you enjoy, because you have to put a lot more time into the subject because there's more content and it's a lot more challenging.
And also sort of have a look at the difference between the high level and SL subjects before you choose between them, because you can have a look at the course outlines online, and then that will give you an idea of what differences there are and if those differences will suit you.
You have the freedom to change your high level or standard level subjects up until about term 2 of year 12. So there's a lot of freedom with this. You also have the freedom to change your subjects until about halfway through year 11. After that, you're too far into the course to really explore.
Actually, at first I chose high level math and standard level chemistry, but I found high level math too hard for me, and you could actually change throughout the year what you if you don't like something, you can go to standard level, and you just have to convert another one of your subjects to high level.
So you have to choose 6 subjects and 1 from each subject group. So you have to have your humanities, your maths, English, a language and a science. And then your 6th subject is where you can either double up on a humanities or science, or you can pick an art subject.
It made it a lot easier to decide, rather than having SAGE, which has a larger range of subjects, including all of their courses. I found a lot easier with IB to choose.
I found it helpful that you have to pick from each group because I had no clue about what I wanted to do. So it was much easier to say, for humanities, I have to choose out geography, economics, or history, and go, well, I don't really like geography or history's hard for me, so I'll do economics.
It was good because you can kind of develop your skills in all areas.
Your final grade is out of 45. Each subject you can get a total of 7, I'll say points, so for each subject you can get a varying number out of 7, and that adds up to 42 of your 6 subjects. Then you have 3 bonus marks. Those 3 bonus marks come from your extended essay and another subject called theory of knowledge. So to get those 3 bonus marks you need to get either an A in both theory of knowledge and your extended essay, or a combination of an A and a B.
Depending on your subjects and which high-level subjects you choose, usually you'll have a large amount of exams. I think I have above 12 exams for me.
Each subject has 2 or 3 exams at the end of year 12, and they mainly count for about 70% of your grade.
There aren't many assignments which go towards your ATAR and IB, but these, when you have them, there are like 1 or 2 major assignments for each subject. There's a range of different things. You've got practicals in physics and chemistry and biology, I believe, and then in economics you have to write sort of essays on articles describing situations.
For the sciences and the humanities, you have to do internal assessments, which count towards 20% of your final grade, and the 80% of your final grade is based on the final exam. Oh, and math is the same as well. But for the languages, you have to also do oral assessments, and you have written assessments as well, but most of it is mainly based on the final exams. I don't know about the arts.
The extended essay is a long 4,000 word assignment that you do on one of your subjects at school.
And where you can actually invest 40 hours of your time into a particular subject.
It's kind of the IB equivalent to the research project in CAS, but I think there's a lot less freedom with the topic you choose. So you have to pick one of the subjects in IB as like the broad area for your topic, and then within that subject you formulate your own question and write a 4,000 word essay exploring that question.
You get a supervisor, but he's not there. He's there to help you, but you can't rely on them for everything. So you actually have to put your own time into research, but you can consult them on some of the things you don't understand in the subject that you're interested in.
The extended essay is basically all in your own time. You get help from a supervisor, which will read through a draft of yours and then give you advice along the way.
I'm doing a comparison between Beijing and Adelaide, where I'm going to investigate the correlation between the air pollution level between within these cities and the economic growth of these cities.
I chose to do my EE in English, so I'm doing a comparative essay between 2 novels.
I did my extended essay in economics on the effect of drought on the price and supply of wheat.
It's an abbreviation of creativity, activity, and service.
Podcast, you have to undertake various creative, active, and service-related things, write up about it.
There's lots of things you can actually do at school like teddy bear making or joining the choir. It helps you to be more well-rounded in your development.
CAS is a compulsory aspect of IB and it doesn't count towards your grade, as we say, but it is a necessary component to complete the IB diploma.
TOC is an abbreviation of Theory of Knowledge.
You don't have as many lessons as other subjects and you don't get a grade out of 7. It only counts towards your additional 3 bonus marks.
So it's basically questioning our knowledge on things, and it makes you think.
I feel like TOC is quite a beneficial subject because it really broadens the way you think about things and it encourages you to question what's around you. It really gives you like the international mindedness that IB likes. There's 2 assessment tasks in TOC. You have to do an oral presentation and an essay where you create your own knowledge question and investigate using different perspectives.
Some of the major challenges for me have been making sure I stay on track and making sure I work consistently with the workload, because if you leave anything to the last minute then you'll struggle to keep up with everything else.
Because it's the 2-year course, we focus mainly on getting through the coursework in year 11 and in year 12 then we get all of our assignment tasks that count towards our grade and that's really quite stressful. You have to have really great time management throughout term 2 and 3 in year 12.
For me, the workload's been quite a large gap, especially in year 12 from the middle school. With all the assignments in IB you get in year 12 is a lot more difficult than the workload.
We start like really heavily into year 12 kind of work. The tests we do, it's a big jump because what Pembroke likes to do, I'm not sure about other schools, is take questions from previous exams or example questions that the IB would use and put them into our text. There's also a lot more content than what we're used to in the middle school. And I found that IB requires you to be very self-motivated. You can't get by just turning up to your classes and listening to the teacher. You have to go home and consolidate what you've done in class because there's just so much content that I feel there's a lot that you kind of miss out on in just an explanation in class. You have to go back, read the textbook and really work on yourself.
Moving up to year 11 and 12, there's a lot more work you have to do at home to go over the subjects and make sure you understand it rather than just assignments.
For your test, they mark it how the IB would mark the questions, which can seem really tough and your grades do fall a lot to what you're used to. But you become used to the way IB marks questions, what they're looking for in the answers, and if it really prepares you for your exams.
So you have to be good at exams. Just study well and you'll do fine.
Okay.
Put time into studying. Okay.
Advice.
And eat
from
lots
Ella.
of food and sleep at 10.
Is this what your dad tells
Because-
you?
Yes. Sleep at 10 at night, okay? So you don't procrastinate. Thank you.
Golden advice.
넌 지금보다 내 이야기 아닌 척하며 슬쩍 떠볼까